All right.
know
Okay.
what's
Hey,
happening.
guys. How are you? Welcome to Anything Goes with Marella and Julie in our Thursday evening space. We are ultra excited this evening. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Let us know that you are on and you're watching. I see that Julia found her tambourine.
It's so widescreened.
It's so what?
Widescreen.
Widescreen.
It makes me look skinnier. It's okay.
It makes my arms look like Dwayne Rock, the Rock Johnson, minus the.
I don't have the phone, so I can't see. It's okay. Is it okay? It's okay. It's good.
Do you see what I'm seeing? Do you see what I'm seeing?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
So
Sure.
Julia's going to entertain us with the tambourine tonight, I'm sure. And we are here to welcome Joe Stetter. Thank
Yeah.
you so much
Hello.
for joining
Pleasure and
us.
honor. Thank you very much for having me. I'm very excited to
Oh, no problem.
be part of the shenanigans.
Oh my God, shenanigans there will be. Okay, before we start, we go any further. Look what I have in my hand. This is actually pretty heavy. I have an award. The Frequency 5 FM won this past weekend at the Canadian Latin Awards in Montreal, Quebec, and I just want to say congratulations to Maria,
Felicitación!
Joseph, and the Frequency 5 FM family. It is such an honor to be part of this, like honestly.
Bravo!
So amazing. It's an honor. It's just an honor. And we're so proud of them, and we're really proud of being part of this whole movement here with the radio station. And it's a family, right? It's a real family. And so how's your week been? Because we always talk about like how our week's going, and I always mention about our guests before I say to Joe how his week is going. Joe is one of those guys that I feel has so much to offer with respect to both business and personal.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. And when Julia and I first met him, he was actually at a speaking event, and I knew that he was a recruiter, as in helps people look for work,
Yep.
find jobs, very professional. And he mentioned that he had seen our show, and we were talking about modern dating, as we do often on the show. And he said that he was actually writing a book
Yeah.
about the subject. And we said this was
dun, dun.
yeah, many months ago. We said we got to have you on our show, and here we are. And what I like about the way that Joe approaches things is he's a businessman and he's professional and he's a recruiter. But a lot of times people don't show up with their vulnerabilities, don't show up with their personal lives, and you do, and it makes you relatable. So we're really looking forward to hearing your story, and I know you have a few stories.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Smidge.
Just a few.
smidge.
No,
I am a little shy.
just
Use the tambourine. Use the tambourine. Just use the tambourine.
Yes.
It will get those nerves out.
you're
I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
you're using the tambourine,
suck.
and you're also going to dance tonight, maybe sing.
Sure,
I'm just
I'd love-
volunteering, Julia.
Julia can sing. If I sing, your audience will stop watching the show.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
So how's your week been going? How's everything going with you?
Good. I mean, yesterday was Yom Kippur, which is the Jewish Day of Atonement, which
Yes.
we fast for 25 hours, and we kind of ask for forgiveness for all our sins from the previous years. The book closes and a new book opens.
Right.
In between going to synagogue and doing the prayers and fasting, I actually slept, and I actually slept more than I have in a very long time.
Yay.
And it's one of those like
How'd it feel?
zen, like, now everything's just zen and kind of ready to take on the world.
I'm
on a
ready to
whole-
take on the world.
whole new level, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Joe a whole bunch of stuff that I know happened to him. So it's up to you how much or how little you wanna share with us. But you talk about getting some rest. You talk about kind of taking a break, and I know I would say for maybe the last 10 years. Is that safe to say? The last 10, maybe
Yep.
12, 15 years, maybe 10.
Yeah.
You've had a roller coaster ride, right?
Yeah, I mean, it started, and again, I take ownership. I manifested a business partner that I didn't do my due diligence. And so my business partner taught me a $300,000 life lesson. And it took me 7-8 years to kind of get over the hump, working 5-6 jobs while
Yeah.
trying to kind of get my life back in order. And you know what? There's a level of, okay, now we're going to do this things even better. And that kind of
Right.
forced me to be more creative, forced me to kind of get out of my comfort zone, seek help where I could. And
Right.
I'm ready to go back to the glory days kind of thing.
So we're going to talk about that. So he started off this by saying he learned a $300,000 life lesson, and there's not a lot of people out there that could afford to learn a lesson like that, but there's a lot of people that learn lessons like that for sure.
I don't think there's very few that can go, oh, whatever, $300,000 pocket change kind of thing. I mean, it's less than 1% of the population that does that. At the end of the day, the biggest hit of it was that I got nailed with over $90,000 in taxes. And when you owe $90,000 in taxes, you cannot declare bankruptcy because Revenue Canada can garnish up to 90% of your wages.
Right.
So I wiped out my savings and kind of been living off credit cards for a little while. You know, I'm now pretty much almost entirely debt-free and excited about what I'm going to be manifesting and creating in the near future. So
that's amazing. So we're gonna dig really deep into a few of these things, because when I was hearing Joe's story, you know, a lot of it kind of resonated with me with respect to the ebbs and flows, and how when you're down, you think like you're the only one, and oh my God, how am I going to get out of this, or whatever that is. And Joe was very open. Like, we were having coffee together, and he was just very open about what he had been through. So I definitely want to get into a little bit of the
I think more
cycles,
for me, it's
I
like,
guess.
it's, you know, okay, God, you keep testing me. Thank you. But have I not proven to you that I'm loyal and worthy?
You've paid your dues.
You know, I'm of service all the time. I always go beyond what people ask me to do.
Yeah.
And there's a level where, okay, like, I keep doing good. Okay, why are we being tested again?
Yes.
I'm lucky that I have great mentors in my life right now, and people that hold me accountable to kind of not fall into the trap of why me, but more why am I learning something, or what is it that I need to learn from this to become better, to become stronger. So even with my business, these 7 years of being stuck and kind of seeing some of the, we'll call it means to an end, like I'm desperate, so I'll go work here and kind of do this.
Yeah.
How like, you know, it's not about recruiting anymore to me, because a lot of I think in Ontario there's 1,500 to 2,000 recruiters. There's a lot of them, but where I've separated myself from my competition is going, I'm going to offer more services. I'm going to offer more value. For example, making employers understand the cost for having an open position.
Right.
Explaining to them the importance of corporate culture. I know it's a very popular word today, but it's not just a word. There's a difference between communication style, between cultures. There's, you know, you don't need to spend $1 million to have a culture. You can treat somebody nicely. You can buy them a cup of coffee.
I almost think that, sorry to interrupt you, I almost think that culture is about... well, not that I think. I know, because I worked in the corporate culture for a long time. It's about how we treat each other. It's about how we make each other feel. It's about how we feel when we're in that environment for those 8 or 10 or 12 hours a day, right? But I want to get back to it. We're gonna dissect a little bit at a time here.
By all means.
If that's okay. We're gonna get into the life of Joe Stetter and all that he's all about, both in the professional and the personal side of things. In the meantime, I'd like to ask my lovely co-host Julia Scalise, how are things going with you? You found your tambourine. How's your week been going? How are things going?
She brings it to class. Every class, the professors love her. Whenever she has a question,
Pretty much, yeah.
This whole tambourine
Followed by,
thing,
can you shut that over there? Thank you
this
so
whole
much.
tambourine thing started when we went to Joelle Martin's My Empire networking event a few weeks back, and Joseph was actually speaking there along with a few other people, and all of a sudden there was a wonderful guitarist there, and he was playing Michael, and he was doing this riff, and at the end, and Joelle starts handing tambourines around, gives one to Julia, and then I take a video of this, and it goes out onto social media, and the first thing and the only thing everyone is saying is, how are you dancing and playing that tambourine at the same time?
It was like, or
It was good.
like this.
It was good.
Or whatever. You know, it just brought me major nostalgia back from like elementary school when our teachers were like music class.
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to play the triangle, the wooden stick thingies with the, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then and the tambourine. I'm like, give me that.
I'll take it. I like
Let
the
me be
tambourine
annoying, please.
too. So how's your week been?
My week has been good.
Yeah.
School has been going.
Yeah.
What Oh, speaking of, modern dating and relationships and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I had this friend who
We have stories
a
to make,
long
Joe.
time
course.
ago blocks me on Instagram for no reason after we just went for coffee.
The nerve.
All right, right. But a friend, just a friend, right? And he's like, I want to be in, a relationship with you. And I'm like, no. Like, I don't like you like that. I don't. First of all, we're just friends.
You said that.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't want to, no. I'm like, I'm good. So, anyways, after that, he goes and blocks me and whatever. And then he finds me on, said dating app.
Said dating app.
After a while.
Dun, dun, dun.
Said
'Cause I remember
dating
when I was on it before, I was like, oh, look who it is. And he's like right beside me. I'm like, let me just swipe right jokingly because he's right beside me. So I guess he found me recently. He messaged me. He's like, hey, babe, what you doing tonight? By the way, what's your phone number? I forgot it. And I'm like, first of all, I'm busy. And I was actually, what was I even doing last night? Oh, yeah, I was out to dinner for my grandmother's birthday.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday again, Ma.
Ma.
78 years young. Her birthday was yesterday. Can we have a applause and maybe a happy birthday song, Julia? That's it. Thank you, Joseph.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Birthday.
You can go on.
I love that song.
We did have a lovely dinner with the family last night. Went to a really nice Italian restaurant, and that was really nice. And Julia, before you continue your story, sweetie, I also, and I wrote this down because I didn't want to forget, I want to say happy birthday to our very own Renato Lewis Reyes, whose birthday
Yes,
was
Renato.
yes on Tuesday. Happy birthday, Renato. Hope you had a great day.
Cha cha cha.
Happy birthday to you. Okay, so continue.
I had a screenshot of the conversation, so
Of course
I
you
shall-
did.
It's literally short, but no, he goes and says, "Why don't you want to be in a relationship with me?" I'm like, "Cause I'm just not interested in you." And I told you this like 6 months ago. Why are you still pining, honey? Anyway, it's a long story, but moving on. So he finds me, he goes, yeah, hey, you want to come over, babe? I forgot your number. What was it again? And I basically go, yeah, thanks for blocking me. I'm busy. He goes, you're busy? And I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. And you didn't forget my number. You deleted it along with blocking me on Instagram, LOL. So I'm good, thanks. He goes, wow, okay, whatever, LOL. And I'm like, wow, real mature response, Furba. Okay.
It seems that LOL has become a new language.
Yeah, like,
LOL for everything.
LOL,
right?
For everything.
I'm so sorry I hit your car, LOL.
LOL.
I'm so
sorry I ran you over. LOL.
I'm so sorry that I broke your leg, LOL.
Actually, I could top that. One of the best. As part of kind of getting back on track, I became a high school teacher, taught a marketing class.
Yes.
I asked students what's their favorite television commercial. Most of my students were boys, and they said the Old Spice commercial. I said, okay, great. Why do you like it? They'll go, it's variety, it's funny. I go, I'd like you to write a paragraph on it. I had several students write, LOL, smiley face, LOL. I asked for a paragraph. That's what I got.
Wow.
Okay. So are we really expecting
Who
any
writes
more on these dating apps?
Handwritten?
No, typed.
Oh, type. Of course. Okay, it's type. Of course, it's LOL.
I have a question.
LOL.
I want to.
Can I get an LOL in the comments? A spammed LOL. Just keep spamming it.
Yeah, let's get LOL in the comments. I want to do a few shout outs here, but then I want to ask you guys and Joe and you guys, okay?
LOL.
What makes somebody block you on Instagram and or various social media?
The word no.
Only to swipe back on said dating app and pretend like nothing, like none of it happened. I'm just curious to know. What are your thoughts? Okay, let's just see who's on. Oh, Joe's on. Julia Scalise is watching.
Yeah.
James Leach is watching. Hey, James, how are you? Good to see you on here. Paulina says, hi, everyone. Hi, Paulina. Ramsey says, hey, guys. Hey, Ramsey, how are you?
Hey.
Jimmy, hello, ladies. And Senor.
Senor?
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 Well, it's kind of
LOL?
pronounced. No, it looks like it's Senor, but Senor, right? Lorena says, hi, guys. Hey, Lorena, thank you so much for tuning in. Aziz is on. He says, hey, hello, guys.
hey.
Aziz, how are you? James says, hello, everyone. Aziz says, hey, Julia.
Hi. Why'd you say it like that? Hey, Julia.
Because he's addressing
I feel like
you.
I'm in the
Hey,
middle of a
Julia.
Daniel Steele novel right now.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Hey,
Jimmy says,
how's it
sing to
going?
me. No, I'm just
sing to me,
interpreting.
Paolo.
I'm just interpreting how I think they mean it. So I think Jimmy's like, sing to me, Julia.
You want me to serenade you with the powerful vocals? I'm just kidding.
Yes, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
don't know what to sing. You just don't do that to somebody.
Okay, do.
What do I sing?
Your favorite song?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Okay, wait. Hold
Okay,
on.
you find that. James Leach says, hi, Julia and mom and guest. Joe Stetter is our guest for this evening. Lorena says, Julia, how are you guys? Lorna Dillon is watching. Hey, Lorna, how are you? So great to see you. Hope you had a great week. Lorna says, good evening, beautiful people.
This is one of my
Renato
favorite
is
songs,
watching.
but
Renato,
lyrics,
we just
you
did
know.
a birthday shout out for you. I hope you
great
heard
song.
that.
Right?
Lorena says, that's good. Renato says, hey, ladies, how are you doing? Aziz says, hey, Joe, keep growing. You're going to get out of this stronger.
I'm almost out of it. I have about $15,000 left from 300. So at the end of the day,
That's pretty good.
like it's done. There's
But I want to talk to you
I'm
about
excited.
how the actual experience of being in such a situation. You're not getting off easy this evening. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Get
I have
them
so
questions
many,
rolling.
No, I have
Who
so
told
many.
you it was easy?
No, exactly.
Your Tinder bio. I'm just kidding.
My wife's gonna be
I'm
very
kidding.
angry with me.
Lorna Dillon says,
Shout out to
nope,
the
he
wife.
blocked you. Yeah, he blocked her. Big
And
surprise.
then oh my god, you know what's funny too? Whenever we go dancing to our place, our choice, you know,
Mississauga's, well, you say it.
Mississauga's best kept secret.
Shout out to Blue Suede Suze. How are you guys doing?
His aunt goes there and she's like, "Oh my god, yeah!" And she goes to her and she knows the guy's name, and I'm like, "Yeah, about that."
Lorna says, happy birthday, Nonna. Thank you so much, Lorna. I appreciate that. James says, happy birthday, Mama. Thank you, James. Jimmy says, sabroso. Sabroso?
Sup,
I
bro?
don't know what that means, but okay. Thank you. So you're going to have to go on Google Translate to see what that means. Paulina says, bon compleanno.
Oh,
Thank
buon
you, Paulina.
compleanno.
Lori Grant is watching. Hey, Lori. Jimmy says, happy birthday to Renato. Raymond Harlal is watching. Hey, Raymond, how are you? He says, hey, my amazing co-author, Joe.
Yeah, we're doing a few projects together.
That's awesome. Good to see you on here,
Exciting.
Raymond. Hope you're well. Lorna, LOL. Lorna, LOL. Jimmy, LOL. Oh, everyone's streaming the LOL.
Oh, it's being spammed. Wait,
yeah,
hold
it's
on.
being spammed.
Keep spamming LOL for your chance to win. Ready, guys? An LOL back.
We actually have some contest giveaways tonight, so pay attention. There's some pretty cool things going on. Raymond says Joe is an amazing educator, businessman, and award-winning author.
Thank you.
That's awesome, Raymond. Thank you for that. Paulina says they block you so you could not see what they've been up to.
Yeah, even though all he
Yeah.
posts was him singing Ave Maria in like a chipmunk voice. What do you have to hide?
On a construction site.
Right? And I'm like, considering that, I thought, we were friends. No, but like this, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it.
Well,
It
Lorna
was-
says it well. She says he is a child. That's why he blocked you.
He is a
also, he's
child.
only looking to hook up, but using the guise of using the guise of wanting a relationship. Yes, a guise of
Yeah.
wanting a relationship.
And I'm over
Joe.
here like,
Yeah,
Kim-
100%.
100%, right?
well,
The-
let's just say it didn't happen.
Duly noted. Joe, Jimmy says, what's your favorite commercial?
You know what? I respect some of the art that goes into making commercials. Some of the beer commercials, especially some of the old ones and some ones from Australia's,
Yes.
are very, very smart in the way that they were put together.
Yes.
There's one in particular, I forget the beer, but the kind of guys and girls, and they kept kind of becoming superheroes and kind of changing into something else, and it's hilarious. Like the ending is like what
Yes.
just happened kind of thing. But
yes, you like it.
yeah, the old McDonald's commercial when they had Jordan and Larry Bird competing to see who can make
yeah.
the shot and things of that. But
that's-
honestly, I'm at a stage right now where I don't watch TV anymore. I don't have time
don't
for it,
either,
so
yeah.
I don't even know what the commercials are anymore.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like I'm teaching right now a business class, so I got them to find a commercial that they think is unethical. And it can be a regular commercial, but
Okay,
they
yeah.
so like for example, we talked about how Red Bull, a lot of teenagers are drinking Red Bull right now.
Yeah.
So is it Red Bull's fault that they're drinking it, or is the fact that they're lazy and leaving everything to the last minute to do their assignments?
Right.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Red Bull has a lot of chemicals that can harm your body. So,
Okay.
for example, the slogan "Red Bull gives you wings." some people have tried to fly after they've drank Red Bull and
Yeah,
landed face first into the ground. Unfortunately,
That's terrible.
So I kind of said you can take any subject because ethics is about your own morals and values,
Yes,
and therefore
yes.
you can tell me why you think this is unethical or not, and how would you change the commercial to make it more ethical. What's interesting to see is that the kids went in kind of 17 different directions in
Did
terms
they?
of
Yeah.
there, because I gave them the leeway to kind of go, you can choose any topic that you want
Yeah.
there. So it was very interesting for us to see even the discussions about between each other. That was,
Interesting how we're talking about unethical behavior and modern dating. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay,
Call
not just.
Well,
gonna,
1-800
I can make it
267
simple for you because it's
2000.
part of my book. In my opinion, there's 3 major problems with dating today. And the first one, I say this as a guy, most men don't know how to be men anymore. And I'll give an example. If
Sadly.
a guy goes, what do you want to do tonight? And you go, I don't know, what do you want to do? And then you spend 20 minutes going, I don't know, what do you want to do? It's a huge turnoff for women. Even if the guy goes, let's watch the hockey game, and you're not interested in watching the hockey game, as long as the guy's not being a complete douche about it and
He's
goes,
decisive.
there's something that was offered.
Yes,
And that's
yes.
lacking today.
Yes.
The second problem that exists is people want real, but they're terrified of being real.
Yes.
So it's an arm distance. I'll be authentic. Like, I want you to be authentic with me, but I don't want to be authentic yet because I might get hurt.
Yes.
Which is
So
kind
they
of
put
an
up a big wall.
it's an oxymoron a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah.
And the third and the biggest problem, and kind of goes to what she was saying, is online dating as a whole, because there's that mindset that the grass is greener on the other side. So
So
no one's actually
options.
willing to invest in it, because as soon as it's not, Dharma and Craig Perfect or movie where we see each other, the sparks are flying and we're ready to get married the next day, people just kind of go, okay, that's it, I'm done with this one. I
Right,
can't deal with this. I
right,
can't.
right.
Like, very few people have had a perfect life, like where nothing's happened to them, or
Right.
they will behave perfectly. You have to understand there's personality differences, cultural differences, value differences.
Yes.
Given that I'm surrounded by Italians at the moment, Sebastian
Yay, Italy!
Sebastian Maniscalco, phenomenal Italian
Yes,
comedian.
yes,
Oh, I
he's
love
and
him.
he
hilarious.
talks about
Love
like
him.
he has a routine called "What's Wrong with People."
Oh, I've seen that one.
My God.
Oh, yeah, that one's
okay,
funny.
If you guys have not seen Sebastian
Oh, my
Maniscalco's What's
God.
Wrong with People, you need to YouTube it, and you are going. I'm
It's
telling
all
you right now,
true.
it's all true, and your stomach and cheeks are going to hurt after you've watched
Why
it.
does she have a sword? No, you guys need to watch
is.
it.
It's all
so
true.
good.
And Joe, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but the
By all
one,
means.
the
We have
one
a sword.
We do we? The one segment that really spoke to me is because I grew up in the 80s, right? He talks about back then how when people used to go to nightclubs, right?
Yeah.
You actually go up to someone, have a conversation. There was a little bit of timid stuff going on. You would ask the girl to dance, and then she would give her purse to her friend. They go onto the dance floor. The distance between them is like this much. And then afterwards, both of them, if they liked each other, it'd be like, here, give me your number. I'll call you next week. We'll go out for dinner or whatever. And like you write it on a napkin, right? Whereas then, like, fast forward to now, and they're like, yeah, you haven't even like met this person, and already they're trying to grind on you behind you in the nightclub. And it's like, and he actually uses a chair to demonstrate how he does this. And it's hilarious because there's no real intimate connection even when getting to know somebody. It's just so fast and so fast paced. And as I said in my social media post today, I do have a story tonight, and it happened recently.
my God, I'm dead.
And I'm telling you, I want all of you guys' opinion on this, because I am so adamant that this is bullshit. But I have to tell you, I was just like shaking my head. But anyway, I digress.
That's why I switched to salsa dancing.
Salsa dancing?
Or Latin dancing as a whole,
My
because
fave.
there's a level of polite and respect in terms of movement, and the
Yes.
woman has to trust you to allow you to do more intimate moves and like dips or anything
Yes,
like that.
yes.
But there's a level where you build up to it because you start building a connection through the dance, and
Yes.
it's not just let's us grind and I don't even need to look at you kind of environment.
I don't even need to look at you. Okay, we're gonna get back to this. Okay, I just want to. So many great comments. Okay, hold on one second.
Keep spamming those LOLs.
Kim Bassler's watching. Kim, how are you? So great to see you on here. Hopefully we catch up soon. Lorna's with her LOLs. Everybody with their LOLs. Sydney Powell is watching.
them
Sydney,
coming.
thank you so much for tuning in. Lori says, hi, Joe. Thanks for the link. We've got Kim saying, hey, you fabulous people. Thank you
Hello.
so much. Oh, Lorna says sabroso means tasty. Lorna, thank you so much for that. Doris,
Sabroso.
And Kim has a great comment here. She goes, online dating is like a candy store. They keep coming back to the counter for more.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And they want discounted candy every time they get up to the counter for more. Do they not?
It works both ways.
It works.
Actually, there was this post that was, oh my god, hold on. Remember the
You got it?
dating after 40 post?
Oh, my God.
Oh my god. Okay, wait, hold on.
The dating after 40.
This
yeah.
is no offense to anyone after the age of 40.
No,
This is
none
just
taken.
a post.
None
taken.
taken.
Because there is always
Yeah.
people who are going to relate to it.
Go ahead.
So, wait, hold on. I got to find
Oh,
it
okay.
first.
Doris is watching. Hi, Doris. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. She says, buenas noches. Kim Wilson is watching. Hey, Kim, how are you? Ronnie is watching. Hey, Ronnie, how you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so sorry we didn't have a chance to catch up, and we were supposed to have a call this week, and I was supposed to get back to you yesterday. The week has just absolutely flown by. We will hopefully resume and have this call maybe next week after the Thanksgiving long weekend. Adele is watching. Hey, Adele, talking about modern dating and talking about the crapshoot of the nightclubs. Adele is one of our dance friends, and she's awesome, and she really keeps it real. She does some posts, and she really keeps it real. You would definitely appreciate her stuff, and she's on Instagram. So I'm going to mention it right now. The Celebrate group is Joe, and Joe is on Instagram. You guys need to connect with him. But I got to tell you, she just keeps it real. Some of this, like 95% of the stuff that she posts, whether it's about her experiences or experiences in general, this is me. I'm like this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I'm constantly, oh yeah, that's so true. You know? Ronnie says, love you, Joe. You're amazing, brother.
Thank you. It's an honor. Thank you. I'm looking
Hold the
forward
award.
Yeah.
Lorna says, my dating life or lack thereof sometimes, LOL. Jimmy says, I call myself Metador, so Red Bull is tamed with me.
Oh my gosh.
Jimmy, we
Red
love
Bull
your
is
sense
good,
of humor,
but my
honestly. So much going on here. Like, it's wonderful. Kim says, online dating is like, oh, sorry. Julie already said that. That's very true, Kim. Thank you so much for sharing that.
the heck is this
Paulina says the dating app bios are so extensive and leads one to wonder, are they real?
Yeah.
That's very true. Like, are they real? The people are real. Are they real in terms of
to. Of course they're real because, first of all, dating apps or profiles start with, oh my God, I like to breathe. You too? We got so much in common. Right? Then they go into the ever tintillating. So I'm smart, I'm funny, I'm intelligent. I'm looking for someone who's smart, funny, and intelligent. Like, oh my God, like, you know, like.
Or just ask me, and then there's one picture, and it's a group photo, and you don't know which one it is.
yeah, and they're all wearing glasses. Exactly. James Leach says, grinding what? Coffee beans?
How did you know? I'll take a venti.
That's so true.
I found the post. So this is what the
Go ahead,
post
baby.
says. Dating after 40 is like trying to find the least damaged thing at a thrift store that doesn't smell.
Oh my God, how true is that though, right?
Oh my
Kinda?
God, it's so
Joe,
bad.
we're all nodding, like, yeah. Lorna says Donata Morella. That's according to Google. LOL. Too funny. Ronnie says it's absolutely no problem. Love the
Can you
show.
read her some captions from the work in progress work that you
Oh,
love?
yes. So I asked Joe to print me out some stuff because when we met for coffee, which was like a 4-hour like exploratory discussion of wonderful things, he shared with me some excerpts of a book that he's writing on modern dating, and I was dying. Like, it was so funny. So then I asked him to print out some stuff, and I've got it right here, and we're going to share a few, okay? Ronnie, thanks again. I really appreciate
So
that.
exciting.
And okay, so here we go. Okay, first of all, so we got so much to talk about tonight, honestly. Keep the comments coming, you guys. Keep the questions coming. Again, as I said earlier in the show, the one thing I really like about Joe, and many people that we come across that are very similar, back in my day, there was this stigma associated with, you know what, you keep your personal stuff at home and you keep your business stuff at the office. And you don't merge the two, and dare you talk about your personal problems at the office, and dare you bring your work
Yeah, they
home.
say leave your problems at the door.
Yeah, and nowadays I feel that, you know, with more people sharing stories, more people being vulnerable, and more people being able to relate to one another, because a lot of people are going through similar things. When I first met Joe and we started to get to know one another, like, honestly, honestly, he put it out all on the table. I don't know if you guys missed this, but we're going to break it down a little bit at a time because we want to capture all the life lessons into this. And there are many, okay? So for all of you that don't know, and Joe's a lot of different things. He's an entrepreneur. He's obviously a businessman. He's a teacher. He's an author. He is an executive recruiter. He helps people land jobs. He helps people get jobs. He helps people who have become unemployed kind of go through a transition period with the not the onboarding per se, but that transition between.
I've had the honor and the pleasure of coaching over 10,000 people to find employment.
Many. That's amazing.
And I have an 89% success rate of finding anybody employment in any field under 3 months. Most of them have been new immigrants with zero Canadian experience. I've helped people with the John Howard Society that have criminal records.
Yeah.
And I kind of point out, similar to dating, these are the mistakes that people are making, because when you go to a government agency, they use content that was relevant, let's say, 30 years ago. You know, they tell you to put on your resume under your skills or you're a hardworking, dedicated, committed, and team player. In 20 years of recruiting, I've met very few people that go, listen, I'm lazy, I'll show up late, none of my work will be any good, and I really hate people, please hire me. Not unless you're related to them or sleeping with them that you can get away with that.
Right. Really? Like, it's not going to fly, right?
It's just kind of, people kind of make the same mistakes over and over again.
Yes.
And so when somebody says to me, oh my God, I sent out thousands of resumes, there's no jobs out there. I go, no, your resume sucks, because the reality is...
No, your
resume sucks.
Okay.
Well, because here's the thing. Most people don't understand the tricks to write a resume. And so when they go to an expert that charges $50 on Kijiji or on Facebook or anything like that, a lot of people go, oh, I know how to write, or I'm a ghostwriter. It's pretty easy. You go on Google, you find a few keywords and put it together, and here's kind of the formula for a resume. The reality is that that's kind of putting you in a pile of doo-doo. Like, right now, the statistics say that one job posting in North America is going to get you between 350 and 5,000 applicants.
Wow.
So at 350 to 5,000, if you look exactly like every other resume, if you're doing exactly what everybody else is doing,
Yes.
most companies hire from the first 80 to 100 that they get. So...
And you know what? Again, sorry to interrupt you, but you are not joking when you say that recruitment and looking for a job, like work, is very similar to modern dating or dating and relationships. I'm listening to you speak right now, and I think about, if you've mentioned, like, there are so many people vying for the same position, right?
Right.
And there are so many people that all, like, their resumes all look the same. They all sound the same. They all feel the same kind of thing, right? And the one that stands out, the one that's unique, the one that's different, the one that's going to offer something different may or may not stand a better chance of getting at least, the interview, or at least a meeting with people, right? And the reason I make this observation is because I was talking to one of my girlfriends, and I would have said this myself. Julia, maybe you would have said it too, but she actually said to me, this was about 2 weeks ago, and she said, unfortunately, the next guy, or the first guy that opens a door for me, is going to be the guy that I will probably give a chance to. And I said, wow. I said, so I kind of knew, I thought I knew what she meant by that, but I asked her, I said, is it because no one else is opening the door for you? She goes, never. So the guy that actually shows some chivalry and actually opens the door for me is very different and is actually going to get a shot, assuming he wants one. And I thought that was very, interesting, right? So when you talk about the job search, and when you talk about how people can stand out to be different, to get that shot, like, I almost feel like, yes, like, your qualifications are so important, your credentials are so important, your resume is so important, but I'm going to take it one step further. I almost feel like you got to be at the right place at the right time, and sometimes that's luck.
Look, it's definitely a little bit of luck, but there's certain things, like, Canadians were very polite and were very respectful. So, for example, 98% of job postings will say, don't call us, we'll call you.
Yeah.
I teach candidates, call. Say your computer just crashed, can you check that they got the resume? By having the HR, let's say, check if they got the resume, they actually pull your resume from the bottom of the pile and put it at the top because they went to look for it.
You're assuming that, and no disrespect, because I know some wonderful HR people, you're assuming HR picks up the phone.
Look, there's always ways of getting through. There's always great ways. Like, yeah, HR doesn't necessarily answer the phone as much, but there's ways of getting through. Like,
Yeah.
call customer service
Yeah.
and then ask to be connected to HR.
Yes.
Generally speaking, you'll have a higher chance of success with a connection through customer service because it's not necessarily an automatic outside line.
Yes.
It's an internal line that's transferring it. For example, call accounting. No disrespect to accountants, but they're not necessarily known for having the most bubbly personality out there. So you
Really?
can't say, hi, I understand you're in charge of hiring. They'll go, no, I'm in accounts payable. I'm sorry. Can you connect me to the right person?
Right. There's always a way.
There's always a way.
Let me ask you a question. What got you into recruitment? Like, why did you decide I want to help people get jobs? How did you decide to get into that?
I think I have to take a few steps backwards. So I've changed careers about 8-9 times and then
Yeah.
jobs 17 times in my life. And I did so because I didn't know what I want to do when I grow up.
Right.
And coming from Jewish background, parent influence, you need to have a career, go to university there. So I studied finance. I was in finance for 7 years. You could not pay me $1 million to work in a bank ever again.
With all due respect to banks.
bankers.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not for me. It's not my cup of tea. But in switching careers and in kind of doing my own self-development exploration, I kind of went, okay, Tony Robbins is talking about this. Why is nobody making that connection for job finding?
Yeah.
And then I started kind of giving people some advice. And as I became a recruiter, kind of honing in on the deal, I have one of my stories in my book. My brother was finishing his third year mechanical engineering degree, applied for an internship. By the time one of the companies responded, it was going to be more of a paper pusher job, and he already registered for his fourth year classes. So he asked me to cancel the interview, and I said, you know what? Let me see how good I am at this interview thing.
Yeah.
I went in as my brother. I studied economics and business. The only thing I know about mechanical engineering is what I wrote for him on his resume.
Right.
My first interview, there was 100 students there from Queens, U of T, Waterloo, and Ryerson. Within 45 minutes, human resource called me back, said, we love you, we need to come back for a second interview. I was like, all right, let's see how far I could take this. My second interview, I came in, I interviewed with the manager. Now, I spoke the truth about my brother's resume. So my brother was on a team that designed a wheelchair for third world nations that use a tank chain so it can go on any terrain. Came second in Ontario for the best mechanical engineering project of the year. Won $500 from RBC. Told the manager I studied thermodynamics and quantum physics.
Wow.
To this day, I have no idea what those are. Didn't even leave the
I
parking
don't
lot.
either.
Didn't even leave the parking lot. Manager called me back, said, I adore you. I need to come back for a third and final interview. I was like, all right. Out of 100 candidates, I made it to the final 3. I was the first one in at 8:30 in the morning. Manager walked over to him and was, here's your offer letter. The job's yours. All you have to do is pass this mechanical engineering test. And I kind of looked at him, looked at the test, looked at him, looked at him. I can't do this test. Manager looked at me and goes, I know you're nervous. Let me help you. He solved the first 3 questions for me. I looked at him, I go, I am so sorry for wasting your time. I guess I'm a lot more comfortable with the design than I am with the calculation. I am not the right guy for this job.
Right, right.
Thank you for the opportunity. Manager followed me to the car and begged me to take the job because I'd interviewed that much better than every other engineer that was applying for the job. So in the process, I started developing systems that use kind of psychology and use tools where the biggest mistake that most people do in an interview, for example, is they come and they list their duties. If you're applying to be a receptionist and someone says to you, I know how to answer the phone, if you're the employer, you should look at them in shock and go, really? A receptionist that knows how to answer the phone? We did not know that.
Right.
Now,
It's
if you went to
obvious.
school to be an administrative assistant and you tell someone that you learn how to answer 60 calls a day with 12 different lines, I can measure 60 calls a day with 12 different lines. I can't measure I know how to answer the phone. The problem is when most people write their resume and when most people go to the interview, they go, yeah, I know how to do that. Yeah, I know how to do that. Great. But that doesn't mean you're good at it. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
you can make me money at it.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know, like,
And interesting you say this too, because as a heart-centered businesswoman that I am, right, I've always said this, even from the beginning, okay? And I still say to this day, you talk about responsibilities and tasks and stuff. I've always said, show me who you are. Don't tell me what you do.
Right.
And the reason I say that is because we've all heard this, right? Certain skills can be taught, but but personality traits and work ethic cannot. You cannot teach somebody to be a team player, ethical or not cutthroat, or to be how do I say this, like work in a team centric environment, there's certain things that you just can't teach. Like they either have it or they don't. But you can teach them certain. Like if somebody wants to teach me Excel after how many years? I mean, I've finally managed to understand a little bit of it.
Oh my God,
but
all the formulas. Oh,
it's
Jesus.
gotten a little better over the years. But my point is, it's teachable, right? You can learn certain things, but there's certain things that you cannot learn. And why I think this is so important is because, okay, if you're working by yourself and all you're doing is this, and you only have to deal with yourself, that's one thing. But if you're working with other people,
I'm going to correct that a little bit, because here's the thing, and this is what's happening more and more. The kind of solopreneur takes on so much that they end up kind of collapsing.
Yeah.
And you have to take a step back and go, okay, what are the things that I enjoy doing? That's my calling.
Yeah.
And what are the things that I should maybe hire someone to do?
For
like,
sure.
Accounting is not my passion.
right.
So I hire a good accountant to do my accounting. I'm like, here's my receipts, organize them, just give me the summary, tell me what I need to know. But
Right.
I don't want to spend the time doing accounting. As much as I'm fascinated by law, I'm not a lawyer. I hire a good lawyer to make sure that there's paperwork. So similarly, like you can hire an assistant to do certain tasks for you. Like if you're not
Yeah.
a fan of Excel,
Yeah.
you can hire someone to go, okay, you do the Excel. It's still, as long as you give the guidelines, it's your baby and things are being done.
For sure. Yeah.
But
yeah.
it doesn't affect the core of what your business is. And,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think this is where a lot of entrepreneurs also forget to realize that, between hiring co-op students for free, especially in the high school level, between hiring interns, there is, for example, Gen M right now. It's a platform where you pay $150 and you can get an intern that needs to build their portfolio, especially in marketing.
Right.
And for someone like me that goes, okay, yes, I need to do social media, but with what I'm doing, I don't necessarily have time to be on Twitter and post
And do all that.
all that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I can hire someone to do it and go, here's the content, here's, let's say, copy of my book, here's videos, here's this that I've created over there, please go ahead and do this and
Yes.
keep it posted. Keep me posted if there's something major or something interesting that I need to know about.
Yeah.
But in the same respect, you can't, unless you're a marketer and that's all you're doing day in and day out, there's more to be done. But there's...
And let me ask, I want to ask you guys, are you guys entrepreneurs? How many of you are entrepreneurs and how many of you work for a company where you go into, an office and you work in there and then you leave? It's interesting to see because I feel like more and more people at different ages now are becoming entrepreneurs. And the question I have for you is, what's the one role in your business that you love doing and why? And what's the one role in your business that you don't really like doing and why?
Again, so my business has 4 pillars, and I truly enjoy the elements of these 4 pillars. So the first is recruiting, headhunting, because I love finding the people that no one else can find.
Yes, the diamonds in the rough.
Yes. The second pillar of my business is helping organizations understand that corporate culture and corporate social responsibility are not just buzzwords. That
Right.
you don't, something as simple as having a coffee machine that does an espresso in the office, even though people love their Starbucks or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yep.
that idea that the coffee is free can increase your productivity by up to 20%.
Yes.
Just because people don't need to leave the office, especially when it's kind of
Yeah.
downtown rush.
Yes.
Like, at Adelaide and York downtown, there's 4 Starbucks, and they actually paid
There's
a company.
4?
There's 4,
Yeah,
one in each
yeah.
corner, and they paid a company to count how many people are in each corner, so to make sure that each Starbucks is making at least $1.3 million gross in revenue, because people that work in finance don't have time to cross the street, and so
Really?
there is that much of a traffic that 4 Starbucks are making there.
Wow.
Shitty
Why
for
don't
the
the
first
people in
franchise
finance don't
owner.
have time to cross the street?
Because again, if they're working, I used to be a stock trader, for every minute you're on the
Oh,
phone,
yes.
you're
I see
losing
that.
business.
Yeah.
Again, depending on the pressures of finance, depending on where you're at in the culture that you're in,
Yes.
there's a level where
I want to interrupt you for 1 second,
By all
only
means.
because you said something, okay? This was going to be part of my final thought, but I'm going to say part of it now. Today is World Health Day.
mental health day. Yes.
Excuse me. World Mental Health Day. And I really believe that Mental Health Day is every day. But the fact that it's a recognized day today around the world is wonderful. I really want to see more and more companies make mental health programs a priority for all of their employees. Employees who are suffering burnout, employees who are dealing with a lot of crap outside of work, employees that are dealing with a lot of crap because of work. It would be really, really nice to see. And for those companies that have already started leading the way in this space, it's wonderful. Keep doing it because it's very, very, very important. So when we talk about culture and corporate culture, if things were a lot more positive and the energy was a lot more vibrational in a more positive way, there would be less stress leaves, there would be less people leaving the job. And I say this because I've been through it, and I got to tell you, to watch people disintegrate in front of you, to watch people walk out the door and never come back, it is absolutely heartbreaking. And I was one of those people. So I just wanted to say that I think it's really, really important.
And a lot of companies don't realize the cost of that because the statistics say that, let's say, one open position in a company costs on average $100,000 a month.
Right.
And it takes 45 days minimum to fill that position.
Right.
Because now there's overtime for people, there's more stress because there's more on their plate without necessarily the extra pay.
Right.
And so this
Usually
is where,
never the extra pay.
right.
Usually, right?
And this is where there is now a big dynamic where, again, some organizations that I know, large organizations, will say, okay, look, we're doing this. We have a yoga room. But they don't actually have anybody come to teach yoga in the yoga room.
Right.
So
how many
the
people are
room
going to
is
go into
there.
the yoga room to do yoga?
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
even if you are an avid yoga kind of thing,
Yes.
the environment of having the classroom, the environment of having the music, the environment of having, you know, even the mat set up or whatever makes a difference. And this is where, to me, corporate culture, if I may share kind of a quick story. So
course.
when I was working in banking, I used to answer the phone. It's a great day. It's a fantastic day. My name's Joseph. How can I help you? One of my coworkers complained that me saying great or fantastic could be interpreted as the bank's making too much money. So senior management had 3 2-hour-long meetings to discuss whether or not I was allowed to say great or fantastic, and decided it was easier to ban me from saying great or fantastic than to retrain the 120 traders on the floor.
3 2-hour meetings with senior executives to talk to you about not using the words great or fantastic and how much money around the table got wasted during that period of time.
Now, here's the
Pretty
dramatic
much.
irony for this. After this happened, one of the senior VPs came to me and said, "You know what? You're very positive. You're very energetic.
Yeah.
Morale here is really low. I'd like you to organize a social committee to help improve morale." I said,
Yeah.
"Great. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to organize a potluck." To which the executive responded, "Well, that's probably not going to work because the majority of the people on the floor are bachelors and they'll probably give you $5-10 and say, I'll eat whatever."
Nothing like boosting your morale by saying, but that's probably not going to work.
So
But
I said, "Don't
knock
worry.
yourself out.
I'll take care of it." And I created an Excel spreadsheet. This many people can bring drinks. This many people can bring, salads. This many snacks. This many main courses. And I went to people one by one, starting with the executive. I said, "I don't care if you make it, your partner makes it, your mom makes it, or you buy it.
Right.
I don't care which one,
Yeah.
Right.
but you're bringing something."
That's it.
I had the equivalent of 3.5 full executive boardroom, like the long, big ones, worth of food. For the next 3 months, everybody talked about how much food there was, how much variety, how great it was that they could kind of log off the phone for 1 minute, run over, grab a cookie, come back to their desk,
Yeah.
and just the
Yeah.
excitement there.
Yeah.
Now, during the quarter, I won or came in the top 3 for 7 out of 10 contests, including answering 151 trading calls in an 8-hour shift.
Oh my god.
151 trading calls.
Wow. Yeah. Hello.
My manager refused to give me my bonus at the end of the quarter because I was logged off the phone for 4 hours to organize a social committee potluck.
Wait a second. Hold on a minute. Let me recap. Insert sarcastic tone here. Okay. First, they tell you that it can't be done and you're not going to succeed. Then you do it and you succeed and you break all kinds of fantastic records and you boost morale.
Yes.
Then they tell you that you're actually not going to get the bonus that you worked your butt off for because of 4 hours that you were coordinating, boosting the morale of the many people that looked up to you. Do I have that right?
Right. Very right. And then they kind of say, yes, but corporate culture, we take care of our people. And this is why
This is such a bitter, bitter, bitter subject for me for obvious reasons. But I want to go on record as saying I have been so grateful for the corporate career that I had for so long, and I learned a lot from the great experiences, the not so great experiences, the great bosses, the not so great managers that I dealt with, but they taught me everything that I needed to know to be the kind of person that I am.
I'm thankful for all my experiences too, because they made me who I am today.
But how did you feel about that? Like, did you say, what the hell? Like, I want my bonus. I deserve my bonus. Like, how did you deal with it?
Like, the bank has, 100 plus lawyers sitting there twiddling their thumbs, ready to fight me in court if I try to kind of make a case out of it.
You left shortly after, I believe.
Yes.
Was that like the icing on the cake for you?
That was one of them, yes.
All right, we're going to just keep that thought. Just keep that thought. Let's continue. Okay, I just want to make sure that, because there's so many people here that are. Okay, sorry. Let me just keep going. Lorna, yes, the group photos. Love
Yeah,
that.
Right.
Yeah. The group photo.
Which one are you? Exactly, right? Julia says the worst are when you like one of the guys in said group photo and it's not him.
Yeah, it's the other guy. You're like, okay.
I know.
Well, that's bad. When you like the friend, just no.
What about, okay, how about you guys? How about this? And Julia, you too. How about when you're at the club and there's a guy at the club and you like a guy, you find him attractive, but his friend comes up to you.
I mean,
What do you do?
I say hi.
Yeah?
What am I supposed to say?
But what if you don't find him attractive, but you find the friend attractive, but the friend that you don't find attractive comes to you to say hi? Like,
no
what
idea.
How do you handle that?
I say, you want a drink?
That's
Because I need 10. I'm just joking.
no,
Kidding.
but are you honest with them and say, I really like your friend? Or
No,
what do
I
you-
just don't say anything. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, bye.
Okay.
Bro code, guys.
Okay, bye. Okay.
Like-
Jimmy says cyber dating is like barbecue. Everyone wants it, but not everyone can cook it right. You might try some burnt meat. That's true. You know what? Not everybody can cook it right. Exactly. I agree with that. Paulina says recruiters use resume readers looking for the words of what they are looking for.
Yes, but even the words, there's ways to beat the system.
Yes.
So can I share a couple kind of quick tips on that?
Absolutely.
Go
you
ahead.
can.
So,
Yes, go for it.
Here's where most people fail with their resume and fail big time. So the databases like Indeed, Monster, Workopolis, Career Builder score your resume in 3 ways. The first is, when was the last time you updated it? So if you've ever posted anything on Kijiji or Craigslist, if you don't pay for the ad, within 6 hours you're on page 20. So if you posted your resume today and you didn't touch it for 3 months, you're on page 90, 200, something ridiculous. So here's what happens when a recruiter or an HR person in a company looks for a resume. The first time they get a new job order, they probably spend a couple hours going through their own. So they're going through the first ones that they see.
Right.
So if you're on page 200, they never see you. So after they spend a couple hours, similar to you saving the search to having email to you daily, they do the same thing. So all they see is the top 25 resumes.
So you have to go in there every day and update
So
it by
what-
a word or something?
Not even a word. So all you have to do, and the first basic trick is to go into your resume. So most of the database refreshes between 11:45 p.m. and 2:45 a.m. So
Okay.
before you go to bed, go to your resume, let's say beside your name, add a space, save it. Add a period, save it, erase the period, save it. The moment that you make any change to your resume, it forces it into the refresh.
And you have to do that every single or day or every
Right,
few
but
days.
here's the thing.
or...
If you're looking for a job and you're not getting results, this will make a huge difference. The second thing that...
But who would have known that? Now we all know.
Right, but this is where, like, what I teach is different than typical cookie cutter there, because I've gone to the government agencies and said, why are you teaching this? This is not right.
Right.
You need to teach this.
Yeah.
The second thing is, we've been taught to populate our resume with a lot of action words like manage, direct, liaise, coordinate. However, on the other side of it, I don't look for those words when I'm recruiting. I'm looking, so since I know your career was in marketing, for example, I'm looking for marketing. I'm looking for print marketing. I'm looking for digital marketing.
Promotion,
promotion.
brand,
Yeah.
I'm looking
communication.
for,
Strategy.
giveaways, prizes,
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
those are the strategy. Exactly. I'm
yeah.
not looking for managed direct liaise. So people are filling up their words with going, I directed this. Okay, but what did you do? You didn't tell me anything. You just used that word. So stop populating it with
Filler.
like you still need the action words a little bit, maybe at the beginning of your sentence, but give me the specific actual work
Yeah.
that you're doing in there. Like, you know, Julia, your graphic design, like tell me that you're using Adobe Illustrator. Tell me that you're using, you know, whatever editing software, because that's what I'm looking for, not manage direct liaison and so forth.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so the database score how many times those keywords appear on your resume. So if those keywords only appear on page 2, you're not matching the job. And what most people do, and this is the kind of the third and biggest mistake, is they have the generic skills like I'm hardworking, dick, committed, and team player, all that bullshit. Pardon my language.
No, it is. Yeah,
But
no, we get it.
like
Guilty. I'm just joking.
instead of having those skill sets, have like an areas of expertise, let's say, with all of the keywords clumped together.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the most important part, and the reason I know that they do this is because I'm the one that consulted Monster to do this, is to score how close to your name those keywords appear.
Oh, okay, okay.
So if you have
That
an
makes
area
sense.
expertise where you have 30 words that relate, let's say, to graphic design or marketing, right underneath your name, and then afterwards throughout the resume, you've now scored 3 times higher
Yeah.
than any other resume. And if you've gone in at 11:30 before you go and just go, click here, space,
Yeah.
anywhere in your resume, doesn't matter where,
I wanna-
save, and all of a sudden you're now in the top 25 resumes. If you've put the areas of expertise with all the technical stuff in your resume, you're now scoring in the 90 to 100% match. So recruiters and employers are going to look at your resume first
Okay.
because you're not lost in the database.
I want to challenge that.
Yeah.
Not that it's
all
not
means.
accurate. No,
Dun,
not that
dun,
it's not accurate. No, I want to challenge not that. I'm sure that's very, very accurate. I want to challenge how effective is it to apply to online job boards and have to worry about those tracking systems and what have you. My challenge is I feel that and I think you've told me this too, but I have a few recruiter friends and a few people that work in the space who have said that the higher percentage of finding work is obviously knowing people, is obviously networking with people, is obviously going out and talking to people, and the lowest percentage is actually the job boards.
Yes.
So do you have like a stat breakdown for?
If you've heard of the 80-20 rule, 80% of people apply for 20% of the jobs, which
Yeah.
is the ones that are posted on the online job boards.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to give credit to one of the biggest influencers in the world for positive thinking and growth. Napoleon Hill, in his book Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah.
talks about the fact that it's the human factor. You go to someone, like, you know, when Napoleon Hill was offered the opportunity, when I forget who was working with Edison that wanted an opportunity to come in, he was willing to be the janitor to
Yes.
get the opportunity.
Yes.
We become a society where we're so focused on social media, we're so focused on online, you know, the Instagram and everything like that no one makes the personal connections. Like I guarantee, like
Right.
I know personal friends that, like, let's say, graduated from school, couldn't find a job, printed out 30 resumes, chose companies, and went there and sat there for 4 hours.
Oh my
Back
god.
in my day, that's what we did.
And
That's what we did.
finally, the director came and said, "What do you want?"
Yeah.
And the guy went, "Listen, here's my resume. Here's my 2-minute elevator pitch. I just graduated. This is what I do. Da 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 da. I'd like an opportunity to prove to you how good I am." And got hired on the spot when no job posting was there.
Because no one else was doing that.
Exactly.
Because no
And
one else
one's
was doing that
it right now. We've
Yes.
become so kind of distant from real, like, you know, and even now, like, by default, retailers, first thing they say to you, did you apply online?
Oh my.
It's
Did
the
you go to my website? Did you go to
Right.
the website?
Yeah.
Did you apply to this location? So I teach, like, especially teenagers, like,
Did you go to the
apply online
website?
first and then go in person with the resume. And if the manager says we're not hiring, say, okay, thank you, I just wanted to introduce myself. Come back a week later.
What bothers me about did you go to the website? It's like, I'm here. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Let's have a 5-minute chat. Let's talk about how we can work together. Because at the end of the day, listen to me. You can apply online, but the job functionality and the relationship building between employees is going to happen in
Look,
person.
We're mixing relationships there. Like, has anyone ever gotten married from somebody's bio on an online dating site?
I did.
Oh, that's
12 years
coming. Don't
strong.
worry.
I'm just
Don't
kidding.
worry. That's scary, but don't worry. So
Actually,
listen.
yes. Actually, I know one of my really good friends got married to her Tinder date.
without
And
meeting
have
them
a-
and
No,
like,
oh, but they met.
no, but that's
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
no one gets married and goes, oh my god, this profile reads so amazing. I don't even need to meet this person. Let's just get married.
Yeah, I want to have your
It's
child.
called TV shows, like Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like they
but-
don't even meet. Okay, listen, I want to be
That's
cognizant of
amazing.
time, but I'm going to get back to the comments, and then I want to talk about something because we're moving around, because this is the beauty and the dynamic of someone like our guest tonight. He knows recruitment. He's a teacher. He's an educator, right? He understands the jobs. He understands unemployment. He understands people that are working. He understands relationship building. He understands the relationship building within relationships and social situations, right?
Yeah.
It's very multifaceted. He's very, very dynamic, and he can speak to a lot of different things. And I want to come back to a story. I don't know if you guys missed it at the beginning, but he had a $300,000 life lesson where he got, and I'm paraphrasing him, and I want him to share the story. He got screwed over by a former business partner. Now, I'm going to go on record as saying there's always multiple sides to every story, but Joe has told me the story a number of times, and I want him to share the story because it speaks to trust. It speaks to, trust, number one. It speaks to honor. It speaks to work ethic. It speaks to loyalty. Obviously, all the things that we want in all of our relationships, social, romantic, family, work, okay? But it was a bitter pill to swallow. And when Joe was telling me the story, you were kind of being down on yourself, where it was like, shame on me, like, how did this happen, whatever. I will venture to say that this happens more often than not. People don't talk about it because they're ashamed. And Joe owned it. And he's been trying to obviously get out of it financially and trying to, move forward from it. But what I want to talk about is not necessarily, what you did to get out of it, even though I think it's the experience is not fantastic, but the outcome and how you have worked towards getting out of it is fantastic.
Again, and this is something I credit to my father, God rest his soul. The work ethic. Don't make excuses for things. So for the past, let's say, around 7 years, I've averaged 5 to 6 jobs. So I've been teaching I was teaching in Ottawa during the day, teaching night school. I was tutoring 20 students a week or so.
Yeah. Wow.
Then slowly but surely kind of getting a few clients in terms of career coaching, and then working on my business on the side, and just wherever, okay, let's go do this, let's do this, and just, a level where I'm functioning on 3 to 5 hours of sleep because I just need to,
Yes.
it's not making excuses. It's just there. And on top of that, not having all that, where a lot of it was on credit cards, you have to understand that, like, I was living off my credit. So, like, I had friends like, oh, let's go for coffee. I'm like, sorry, I'm living on crackers for the next week and a half because I don't have $2 to my name right now.
Right.
And so there's a level where, again, and I show this, like, let's say, because of me being in the job finding world in one capacity or another for 20 years and helping over 10,000, I give people resources. There's a website, it's one of the top websites in the world, called Fiverr.com, Fiverr.
Oh, yeah.
Fiverr.com.
There's a guy there that's making over $1.5 million right now doing celebrity impersonations. Ridiculous. So, my friend who lives in London, England, is British, made, I don't know, $4,500 in a few months recording companies' welcome message in a British accent, female British accent.
Right.
So you could be somebody's friends there for $5.
Yes.
You can sing happy birthday really badly, but people pay for that.
Really well.
Happy birthday to you.
Right, and people pay for that as resources. Extraworks.ca, you can be an extra in a movie and a commercial and stuff.
Yeah.
Even if they start you at minimum wage, the point is, if you're on your phone for 8 hours and they're paying you the 8 hours, might as well get paid to do those 8 hours.
Absolutely.
Right. Premierservice.ca, you can get paid to be a mystery shopper, and you can get paid quite a bit for them. So there's always avenues, and I kind of, when I try to teach this with kids, I say, you don't have to start a minimum wage job.
That's right.
There's avenues, but you need to own that. You need to take responsibility. Like, you want to play video games. Look, like, there's a kid named Ninja that makes $5 million a year playing video games right now.
I'm a fan, though, of Courage JD. Follow the courageous. Don't take part, take over.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic, right? But
Love
I'm
him,
going to interrupt you 1 second, and then I want to ask you a very Very
Absolutely.
powerful question.
By all means.
I want to know. Our viewers want to know. Julia wants to know. So I'm going to get back to you in 30 seconds, okay?
Sure.
Denise Millen is watching. Denise, how are you? So great to see you. I hope to see you soon. Paulina says, banker here. I hear ya. She says, you can hire me. I love social media. Paulina, you're awesome. So there you go. Paulina is for hire. Great social media person. She can be found on Facebook. Paulina, do you have Instagram? I want to say that we're connected. Anyway, put your Instagram handle on here if you are. Doris says, good evening to everybody.
Good
Kim Wilson
evening.
says, big corporations talk about mental health, but don't practice what they preach.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I want to say that.
Not all of
100%.
them. There are some that do. And
Yes.
let's not kind of say, and this is where
My 100% is from like the general gist of it, but I did say earlier that there are some companies.
look, a
leading
lot
in
of,
this
for example,
space.
the IT companies are coming up, the gaming companies, they build their companies based on making sure that their staff has fun, their staff has a work-life balance, and there's a mentality where like they have Nerf gun wars inside the office.
Nerf gun wars.
Everything is toys inside the office.
I want to do that.
So, like, they definitely have. It's definitely growing more and more in there. And especially now with, like, if you look at mental health and just the way it's affecting from teenagers all the way up to adulthood.
Even younger,
and the
yeah.
extent of it that, you know, it's scary. You know, again, yes, times have changed and things have changed, but the amount of pressure that a lot of times is self-imposed because of this, or the reaction to bullying, or the reaction to
Yeah.
to anything. So, you know, unfortunately, you have bullying in school, you have bullying in work, and this is the biggest difference between management and leadership.
Oh, don't even get me started. And actually, don't even get me started
Please
about the
don't
difference
get her
between
started.
management
I'm
and leadership. But I want to
this
say
is a
one thing that
3-hour
you
special?
said. Oh, I know. Paulina says the issue we have is inexperienced people managers. Yep, I have to agree with that. Who have not much experience or any emotional intelligence to support the staff. I find they are puppets and all say the same things in coaching, like it's like a script they follow. I can't even disagree with that, Joe. I really can't. And going back to what Joe said earlier in the show, one of the things that I experienced, okay, and I used to sit there, and I'd like to hear what you guys think. And I used to sit there and go, how does this make any sense? I could have been 25 experiencing this. I was 45 experiencing this. And I'm still sitting here going, is anybody not thinking that this is not cool, or what's going on? And this is what I'm talking about. And Joe said it earlier. So people are leaving because they're unhappy with the environment, and they're getting better offers elsewhere. Okay.
It's not about money. In the top 10 reasons that people leave a job, salary is actually number 7.
Right.
So number
I
one
believe
reason
it.
is because they're treated like shit, and there's not really
Yeah.
They're not
appreciation
appreciated or valued,
or
right?
acknowledged or
Okay.
accepted for
So
who
they
are and what
leave,
do.
right?
Yeah.
And then it's hard for the company to replace them, whether it be they don't have time, whether it be it's not a priority, whether it be they can't find the right candidate, whether it be they don't want to pay the right amount of money, whatever. I can go on all freaking night on this, okay? But what ends up happening is the people that are left behind end up having to take the overflow of the jobs. And as Joe and I and Julia were saying, probably not at twice the salary, probably not even at $5 more the salary, right? So they end up having to do more work, same pay. Now the people that have left are getting more burnt out. Now the
Yeah.
people that have are staying are getting more disgruntled, and then potentially they leave. Then all of a sudden you have another tier of people that are handling 3 and 4 people's other jobs that have left. Where is the company responsibility to combat this from happening over and over again?
Again, and you said I think you nailed the nail on the head or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, one of those brain farts.
It's
Like, look, when my father passed away, they had to hire 7 or 8 people to replace him to do what he did as a director of
right.
operations.
I believe it.
Because again, old school mentality, work hard.
And
there.
sorry about your dad, by the
Oh,
way.
thank you. Look, at the end of the day, and this is where I think there's a huge shift. And as a recruiter, I get to see both sides of it. A lot of the millennials today feel that even for co-op in high school, they should be the CEO of the organization.
Right. Okay.
And my first question to them is like, okay, what have you done? Have you opened a lemonade stand that made X amount of money? Have you done something
I think the
that's
most I made was
different?
like 5 cents.
Julia did. She was 9. She opened up a lemonade stand.
Right, but like if you've done something to go, okay, you know what? Like for example, if I use social media. Yes, the younger generation knows so much about it. So if they have 6 Instagram accounts and there's a lot of following and there's a lot of action on it,
Yeah.
you have earned the right to say you can be, like, let's say, a manager because you do it.
Yes.
But, if you're going into something like coding, again, look, I had in high school in Ottawa, a kid that I placed for, it's called Invest Ottawa. It's like a think tank similar to Mars Discovery
Yep,
here in
yep.
Toronto. And within 2 days of being a co-op, he published an app for the guy that hired him.
Right.
He was that smart in coding. And the guy that took him for co-op was like, okay, I'm hiring this kid. Like, this kid is a whiz.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
wow, kind of thing. The
Yeah.
talent and the energy and the eagerness to learn. So
Yeah.
when he was given feedback, he took it and ran with it.
Yeah, of course.
Great. And that's what we want. And that's in part the education tries to say, take ownership of your education. If you don't like your mark, come talk to the teacher and redo it or do something to show that you
Yeah,
care.
yeah.
There's also a level where, again, in the workforce, you can't just, yes, you can earn promotions, and unfortunately some companies pass because the bigger they are, sometimes the more they miss good people. But I think my favorite book, and I've used this as a kind of a mantra in leadership, is a book by Steve Farber called The Radical Leap. And
The Radical Leap.
Yeah, and the short of the story is there's a guy that loses his job, and he kind of asks his friends, what do you think leadership is, blah, blah, blah. And he meets this beach bum, and the beach bum says to him, leadership is the acronym LEAP. Love, energy, audacity, and proof.
Right.
If you cultivate love, you will generate energy.
Yep.
You will inspire audacity, and the proof will be in the pudding. And then the speech bum said, and the difference between what he calls a leader and a radical leader is OS!M. Better known as oh shit moment.
Oh yeah, we have a few of those. We have a few of those.
And so what's happening is now, and again, there doesn't seem to be a mindset of grooming because there's a mindset of micromanagement. There's a mindset of barking over there and not giving
There's a
any
mindset
creative-
of you just happen to be in the corner, your pulse is going, you got the job. Great. Go ahead and manage 10 people. That's what's happening too.
In part two, again, and if I may use kind of two giants of industries right now in Canada,
Yeah.
and how they approach people so very differently. And it shows in the organization. So one of them, again, in Canada, Walmart pays their staff minimum wage. If you ask for a $1 raise, you're fired instantly. If you say the word union, you're fired instantly. The top store manager at Walmart in Canada is making approximately $65,000-$70,000 a year.
That's the top.
The top.
Right.
Crazy.
Now, Costco, on the other hand, the worst Costco store in Ontario does $1 million a day. They have full-time cashiers that make $100,000 a year with benefits.
Right.
And Costco's mind has calculated that for them to lose one good cashier costs them on average $140,000 a month.
Right.
So they start cashiers that are at least 18 years or older at $17 an hour. And then when you pass your 6 months probation, if you score well in either being accurate, fast, or have the ability to make quick chit-chat but keep the line going,
Yeah.
they will bump you to $21, $22 an hour because it's cheaper for them.
Then to onboard and
to-
hire
to-
and
Now,
yeah.
70% of the back office at Costco started pushing carts or working as cashiers.
Right.
Because they understand. So when Costco promotes, they give the person that's being promoted a month and a half to train their replacement so that there is no gaps.
Right.
And so there is no, oh my God,
They're
I
not
don't know
lose-
what
yeah.
there, because
Yeah.
there's a sense of taking care of your people and
Yeah.
taking care. Lululemon, another phenomenal example where not only do they make sure that their staff does self-development through, let's say, Landmark or other courses,
Yep.
but there's a lot of communication on who, what, where, are you okay? Do you need some time? To appreciate their staff. like their products are great, but there's also a level of appreciation.
If you
of
don't
staff.
appreciate your staff, it doesn't matter what products
Trust me,
you got on the shelf.
I've been there
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
in the retail,
Oh,
you know.
Trust me,
And-
I've been there.
Oh my god.
Okay, so guys, in the
It's
interest
bad.
of time, we could talk. You know, we can always talk. We're going to enter our speed round right now because we do have just a few minutes left and we have so much to cover. The one story that the one question I wanted to ask Joe, because I want to tie it into the story that I promised everyone I was going to share tonight, is this.
I have a story too.
I know you do.
I promised Lorna I'd tell her.
Oh, I know you do. It's a sense of no, but you know what? As there are more and more entrepreneurs that are coming up, and a lot of self-proclaimed like business owners, bosses, like I'm a boss, I'm an entrepreneur now, I'm a business owner, you know, and I'm trying to make some things happen. So with more and more entrepreneurs coming up and more people collaborating and partnering and trying to work together, whether I was in the corporate world for 30 something years or now in this space that I'm in right now, trust, compatibility, honor, loyalty, like-mindedness, the vision, it has got to be there, because if you cannot trust the people that you're working with, whether it be as an entrepreneur or in a team of 100 people, not only are things not going to get done, but things can end very badly. So, the question that I had for Joe's a very trusting person. He's a very good person. He's very good-hearted. And as heart-centered people that we are, and a lot of people that we know, it's easy to get taken advantage of because we want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Your business partner screws you over for $300,000, and you spend the next several years recuperating from that. You had told me that you didn't really see the signs and that you were really surprised how this went down, right?
Look, in part, there was, I'm an entrepreneur. Life's exciting. I was very naive. I didn't do my due diligence in terms of paperwork, in terms
Right.
of checking things. And so,
Right.
I take responsibility and take ownership that for example, had I signed one piece of paper with my accountant,
Yes.
most of this lesson wouldn't be.
But you
harder.
felt betrayed. You felt betrayed?
Yeah, of course I felt betrayed, but there's a level of, again, like, at this stage of where I'm at life, I look internally and I'm not blaming circumstances. I
Right.
create my circumstance. So if things are not working, I have to look and go, why are they not working?
But let me ask you a question. You're looking internally, but the unethical behavior was on the part of someone else.
There's always going to be
Right.
unethical behavior. There's a level where when it comes to money,
I'm
everybody.
leading. I'm
yeah,
leading.
everyone
into my
has.
story.
Everyone's your friend, and everyone get along until money's involved.
Yes, yes,
that's
yes.
the reality.
Yes.
So you need to make sure that there's a paper trail, there's contracts,
yes.
there. At the end of the day, look, I'm of the mindset that I'm always open to collaborating and partnering with people.
He really is, I can tell you.
And there's a level where I believe in paying it forward. Like, I look at my business not as, oh my God, I need to worry about competition. I don't. I look at it as the more service I offer, the more value I offer,
Yes.
the more I go beyond the normal call of duty. Like, you know what? Recruiting, yeah, okay, here's a job description, go find it. There's a reason it's not getting filled, let's say, by HR internally.
Yes.
If it's open for a month and a half,
Or
something is
more.
missing.
Yeah.
Something's missing. So I take the time and go, okay, what's not working here? Why are you getting candidates, but
Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
hiring any of them?
yeah.
And having that insight understanding. So I've partnered up with companies that do very in-depth personality assessments by top psychologists in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm able to, let's say, read somebody's personality with like up to a 90% accuracy in a matter of seconds.
Julie and I too.
Right? In a matter of seconds, because
It's like, oh, so you're a what?
I've studied I've spent over 15,000 hours learning the psychology of interviewing.
Right.
But there's also a level of, and I'll give you an example. I'll ask somebody, okay, what have you done for one of your coworkers where you didn't get any credit for?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, so like, for example, I gave them a sale and I didn't get a commission, and I'm such a team player, and like it was $5,000 commission, and I'm not upset about it at all. But
Not at all.
But like,
No.
so their physiology tells you quite a bit about it.
Yes,
So
yes.
at the end of the day, there's a level where people only hear what they want to hear. sometimes myself included. It's not a. It's
But
not.
but you know what? You were beating yourself up, and I wouldn't let you because sorry again. I want to make sure we get all of this in. If I put a $20 bill out right here, if I put it out there, yes, the action has been on me to put the $20 bill out there, but it's my $20 bill. If I say to you, Joe, here's $20, go and buy yourself some lunch. I'm giving you my $20. But if I put it out there, and you take it. And then I say to you, Joe, like, why did you take my $20? Like, that's not cool. You'll say, well, you put it out there. If you didn't want me taking it, don't put it out there, right? Do you see where I'm going
Yeah.
with this? So what drives me crazy is whether it be in business or in social relationships or friendships or things like this is that I say this every single week. I've said this on talks. I've said this in my life. I'm far from perfect, but one thing my family raised me right. They raised me right. It's about respect.
Church bells singing.
Yes. It's about respect. It's about a level of common courtesy. It's about a level of just basic civility and human decency. And there is a basic level of how we should act. So whether you got that paper signed or not, someone who was your business partner who screwed you over of $300,000, I don't care how you slice it. I just don't think that that's cool. Now, you guys are wondering how this is going to segue into my little social story. Well,
Dun dun dun.
a few weeks ago, and I want to know again in modern dating. I want to know what you guys think, and again, I want to be cognizant of time, but I want to see what you guys think. Joseph, Julia, right?
Well, she already got my thoughts on it.
Well,
so.
Julia gave me her thoughts already, and she was absolutely and utterly disgusted. Now, if I ask certain people, like my girlfriends, they'll be like, "Oh my God, bullshit." If I say to some of my guy
Joe's
friends,
like, I am not ready to hear
no, but
this.
they're like, "Oh my God, that's just not cool, Marla. You're right." But then there are some guy friends that are like, "Well, what do you expect? It's this, it's that." Well, you know what? I expect the people don't act like this. So where I'm going with this is, I met someone. And we went dancing one evening, okay? So he actually came to the club to meet me to go dance. And we got along. We were dancing. We were having a great time, this and that. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm really naive here, just like you say about being naive. I don't know. Maybe I didn't know better. But if you go to a club to dance with someone, or you go to the movies with someone, or you go for a coffee with someone, chances are you're kind of expecting that they're not going to end up leaving with someone else and leaving you there. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, my problem with this story is this. For 2 hours, we're dancing. So up until 2 a.m., we're dancing. From 2 a.m. to 2:10 a.m., he decided to take a little detour, okay, and decided to go and dance/grind on someone else on the dance floor right in front of me.
And this is where that song dun 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 starts playing.
Right?
So,
Oh, okay then.
yep, the horns come out.
And then I have something to say about it because I think it's rude, I think it's disrespectful, and I don't think it's cool. And so when I call him out on his crap, he actually plays the victim and gaslights and says, what did I do wrong? I did nothing wrong. But then fast forward to 2:30 a.m. when he's texting me and I'm on my way home with my daughter, and he starts freaking out that he's actually not going to see me at the end of the night for the next hour or two.
I don't know what the actual syndrome's called, but like the baby syndrome, where it's like you can be like, let's say he's like 40, right? But he acts like a 12-year-old. Like on the inside has like the mentality of a kid.
Guys, to be truthful,
literally,
to this,
like, stop it.
We were just
stop.
friends. There was no commitment. There was no label, and I
Oh my
hate
God,
them
it was
anyway.
nuts. It was
Labels,
nuts.
right? But is there not a basic level of behavior, a code of conduct that we all need to follow? I just didn't think that was cool. And then he actually started yelling at me for not waiting for him at the end of the club so we can hang out some
But
more
you saw
after
him all
he's
night.
kissing and grinding on some
And he
chick.
goes, I haven't seen her all night. You were with her all night.
I just think that was wrong. Guys, ladies, what do you guys think? Joseph, what do you think?
100% agree. Unfortunately, there's too many guys that read The Game or Double Your Dating and consider that to be the Bible of how to approach women. And part of the problem is that the books have some very interesting tools, but one of them is the backhanded compliment, because if you give the backhanded compliment, the woman will kind of feel insecure about herself and therefore kind of run back to you. So part of maybe trying to get you to be jealous or whatever is part of the quote unquote game psychology. But there's also a level, and this is where part of the reason that I'm writing my dating book as a whole.
And we didn't even get to the excerpts, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to with your permission, I'm going to share just a few tidbits
Sure.
On the thread. But I'm telling you, I was dying, and he nailed it. Joe nailed it, and
So
that's
here's where I'm going to say, and this is where, if I use myself, I was very socially awkward for a long time until I started doing self-development and understand who I am.
Okay.
And so a lot of guys that read the game that are socially awkward, that try to have game
Yes.
by doing pickup lines,
Yes.
if they don't have the confidence to kind of ooze that confidence,
Yes.
women will pick up and they'll eat you alive.
Right, right.
With it. So like part of where I came from and part of what I want to do is to, because I've yo-yoed with my weight, because I've been average looking in there, that to teach guys not pickup artistry. There's enough literature on that.
Right.
But to understand communication and psychology.
And code of conduct, and just a way to properly behave. Sorry, I'm
and
still a little
again,
bitter
this is
from all
where,
this.
Again, this is
Do
where
you have a
unfortunately-
license to look that good?
But
But,
there's
sorry, Joe. To interrupt you, Joe, and sorry, I apologize.
favorite
But just to
one.
go back to, so again, to share a little bit more about this, I knew him for weeks. This is not the first time that we went dancing together. Again, unless I'm naive and don't know, okay, you're already with a woman and you're dancing with them and having a good time. And she's already expressed that she likes you and she enjoys your company. And you're already there together. And he's there for you, according to him. And this is the fourth, fifth, sixth time like that you guys are spending time together. What would possess someone to digress, do a little detour over there, okay? And not only like
How
look at-
you doing,
like if you're
little
just
mama?
dancing and hey, meeting people, dancing, it's great. But to actually disrespect me by doing that, it's like go get a hotel because there's one right down the street, and then to actually come back to me to say, "Hey, babe, why are you leaving?" Okay, am I missing something? So I feel like bottom line, if I don't respect myself, no one else is gonna. And I respected myself 100% in that situation and walked
Joseph,
away from
can I
it.
get an audience clapping, please? Thank you. Thank you. There it is.
I don't care.
Look, but
That's how I feel.
But again, and it goes back to kind of who you are.
Yes.
And that's okay. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are so harsh on themselves and so, I'll use the word desperate maybe for a connection, that they'll look the other way.
But he
And-
had the connection.
But again, it's a level of, again, with the TV shows that you see here, Bachelor, Bachelorette, Paradise Island, all of these, it's all basically permission for you to do whatever you want.
Right,
because on
right.
live television, when a guy in any normal healthy relationship is making out or sleeping with 12 to 25 women,
Right.
he's a jerk, an ass, a player, and many other acronyms.
Right.
On national television, he's the Bachelor.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right, and
Okay,
so we're
okay.
in a society where it's become a norm because that's what everybody on TV
Oh
is
my
doing.
God.
That's what everybody on social media is doing. And it becomes a persona of like, okay, again, similar to the dating apps, even though you had a great date, like let me go online and let me have another conversation. Who knows, maybe this conversation will be funnier, or maybe this conversation will be...
And my point is this: if he was at another club that night and he's doing this and I'm not there and I'm not seeing it, I don't care because I'm having a good time doing my
Yeah.
own thing, right? But to leave me to go and do that and then to leave me and do that, and I'm just like, okay, that's rude. But then to come back and get mad at me for leaving because I wasn't accepting
What do you mean
this.
I'm not going to see you tonight? I came all the way to this club so you can go home early?
Go home early. It was 3 a.m. But I'm just saying, not cool.
what?
Okay.
100% agree.
I want to do a shout out, and Joseph, please give us 5 more minutes, please, please, please. I just want to do a few shout outs here. Marcos Mendoza is watching. Marcos, how are you? So great to see you on here. I hope you're doing well. He mentioned, he says Joseph's amongst the greatest in the world at what he does.
Thank you very much, Marco. Much appreciated.
And Marcos, I hope you and beautiful Jessica are doing well. Lorna says, walk over to the attractive friend. to the point about if the attractive friend.
No, I just scrapped the whole idea altogether. I can't do that. That's so it's like, you know what? Bro code.
No,
Can't do
I
it.
know. Lorna says,
Sorry.
I am so grateful that you mentioned mental health and how we should have programs in place to help. We should have more discussions about mental health, self-care, and ways to prevent burnout. We also need to foster a more positive and healthy work environment. Absolutely. Lorna, 100%. And there's a lot of people that want to make a difference that are making a difference. I think that collectively and individually, we can continue to break the stigma around, talking about mental health is taboo. There's so many people that are suffering, right? So,
and this is where part of like some of the services I do is I do surveys for companies that are anonymous, where I get the results and then I can give it to the leadership and say, these are the issues in your company. Whether or not you want to admit them,
Yes.
like you
Yes.
need to make a game plan for this, and you
Yeah.
don't need Google budget to actually take good care of your staff. You
Yes.
can do something very simple. Like I remember when I worked in finance during RSP season, they put smiley face balloons on every cubicle.
Yeah.
And you walk in and it's like, oh, and it's like
And you
there-
feel good
or-
about
or
it.
or a funny stress ball or something like
Yes,
that.
yes.
And again, it's not. We're talking. Go to the dollar store. Like you can buy 10 balloons for $1. Like
Doesn't cost
so
that much.
when you got a couple hundred people, that's $20-$30. But people react to the balloon because the inner child comes out, kind of thing.
Yes.
Right. It's-
Balloon.
You know what we used to do actually? I
God.
marketing told HR to do this. Every month, we would help them put together a beautiful welcome newsletter, and every employee, and it was a lot of work, and they'd be like, Marla, that's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's supposed to be for things that are worthy and that are valuable. And we used to put everybody's picture on this announcement, and we used to announce what they did, where they were located, and not only did it help for people to get to know who the new folks were, but in working with teams on proposals and things like this, at least people knew, oh, we have that discipline, or we have that service offering over there. And you know what? The new employee that's seeing their picture and their name being announced on the intranet and on everybody's email, you know how good they felt? Like it was a
Of
wonderful
course,
thing.
but that's the thing, and like and people forget how these simple little things go such a long way.
Yes.
If I can share one last story quickly.
Yes.
When I was living in Vancouver, I was hired to build a call center from scratch. I went to the VP and I said, okay, 2 things. Stay out of my way as long as I'm producing results. And number
Stay out
2,
of my way.
give
I
me
love it.
$1,500. Don't ask me questions. Now, the first round, I hired 8 people. I went to the dollar store and I bought each one of them a gift bag with a funky pen, a stress ball, some stickers, a chocolate bar. So first day on the job, they come in, there's gift bags waiting for them. They got so
Yes.
excited.
Yes.
I said to them, not only pick up a gift bag, because you're going to be working in this cubicle for 8 hours a day, make it yours. Go spend $30 on anything that you want and bring me the receipt. I'll give you the cash.
Yeah.
So I had some people bought like this little shag rag that they can rub for good luck or whatever. I
Yeah.
was like, some people brought a pen, but the fact that you made it personal gave it that ambiance where people were
simple
excited.
gestures, but they meant a lot.
I gave
Yeah.
everybody in the team nicknames.
Yes.
And so addressing them by nicknames, instead of doing $300,000 for the year, we did $2.25 million in less than 6 months.
You got it.
And it was all
That's
because
it.
of little things like that. That I remember one time, the team was supposed to produce $150,000. I told the team, if you guys produce this by Friday, I will reward the whole team. By Wednesday at 3:00 in the afternoon, we were $220,000.
Wow.
Amazing.
So I told them, you guys have earned the reward. Friday at noon, I bought all of them VIP tickets to the movies with vouchers for food. And I was like, look, I don't want you to just buy here. Just whatever you don't
Yes.
spend, keep
Yes.
the coupons. Now, the VP found out about this. He calls me and goes, did you just send your entire team to the movies during work hours? I said, yeah. He goes, what's wrong with you? I said, listen, I stayed here because if the phone calls come, I will answer them as the director of the kind of there. But I
But
want
the
my
fact
team
that
to
he said, "What's wrong with you?" right there, it's just
Right.
such
Right. Now, here's the funny part.
narrow-mindedness.
Here's the funny part. I looked at the VP and I said, we, by Friday, at noon, did approximately $315,000 worth of business.
Right.
I said, if we don't do better the following week, you can fire me. We did $420,000 the following week.
The tambourine, please.
Oh.
Right?
Okay, we got That's awesome, Joe. Okay, Marco says, love the logo.
Wait, which
you.
one?
I wonder who did it.
Thank you, Marco.
It's a great logo. Marco says, Joseph should have his own show. Well.
Dun, dun.
Marco says the wealth of knowledge is insane. Yeah, absolutely. The wealth of knowledge is insane. I agree. And we might have you back.
I'd love to.
And Paulina says networking is key. Sorry, I'm just trying to get through some of these. You might not get married, but people propose without meeting their online partners, not video chat and not in person. That's why they have so many reality TV shows like 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah, there's even Love at First Kiss.
Oh,
Love
Have
at
you
first
seen
sight,
that?
married at first sight.
Yeah.
And
Paulina says
Oh my
it's
God.
Fiverr. It's FIV as in Victor ERR.com.
Yeah, I have Fiverr.
Yeah,
It's
you've
a
got
good-
it.
It's a good.
Frank Nastasi,
place
sorry,
to
we're
do
just
your
going
thing.
through the speed round here. Don't mean to cut anybody off. Sorry, sweetie. Frank Nastasi
okay, she
is
does it all the time.
watching. Kim Wilson says, I spent 17 years developing disability insurance products. They focused on getting people back to work. However, their own employees were overworked and undervalued, poor management, and no recognition for skills or loyalty. And we see this, right? Time and time again. Sorry. Kim says that's exactly bang on, Marla. Thank you so much. Okay, we're just trying to. Oh, Paulina says this show is mind blowing. You guys are hitting everything that's happening in the corporate world. Too much for me to comment. And you want to know something? We're going to continue the conversations because, as some of you may know, I spent 34 years in the corporate world, and trust me, I am going to write a book or two on this, and I want to talk more about it because you know what, Joseph, other people, look. One time somebody called me a disruptor and I said, what the heck is a disruptor? I because it always has a bit of a negative connotation. I was much younger. But now, yeah, damn right. I'm a disruptor and I do it because I want to change things. I want to change things for the better. We all are trying to change things for the better. And some people just don't know how to change things for the better, but they're in authoritative positions and they're able to if they just listen a little bit more and let their employees come to them with these great ideas.
there's a reality show called Undercover Boss. At
I've
the
heard
end
of
of
that.
every
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
the boss goes, oh my God, I should talk to the people that work here. I might learn a thing or two. Who
Wow, tambourine, please. Okay, we're going to get to all these comments. Thank you guys so much. Oh, Paulina says this man was rude and disrespectful. Yeah, chivalry. Yeah, Lorna says loser. He has no respect for himself or anyone else. No, there is no hanging out as you're an adult. It was brilliant that you left him there. I did. He's looking for a guaranteed hookup for the end of the night, although he said he wasn't. Hopefully you blocked him before you got to your car. I did, and he knows how to behave. He knows how to behave. He has
managed
really
to
been
call
called
for
out on
no
his
caller
bullshit.
ID.
One thing I actually did, Lorna and team, and again, guys, I just want to say we'll get to, like we always do, we're going to get to every single comment. We're going to respond over the course of tonight and tomorrow and hopefully Saturday. But we usually try to get to everybody early on because we love you guys. We appreciate all of you. The content, the engagement is amazing. One thing that I did do, and I'm actually not even really proud of this. I got very upset. In that moment, I got very upset. I've been going to this dance place with my daughter for many, many years, and I deliberately do not get involved with people that go there on the regular or even go there one time. I really like to keep it my safe space with my daughter. We go and dance. We have a good time. It's my place to relieve stress. And so I don't get involved in this because I don't like drama. I don't like club drama. I don't like life drama. And in that moment of weakness, because I trusted somebody to behave accordingly, he pushed my buttons and I reacted, and I really was not happy about this. So
What did you do, Morella? Because let me tell you, 1 minute I leave her on the dance floor, and the next second I get pushed by a security guard who needs to go stop something on the dance floor, and I
Yeah,
had no
so,
idea what happened.
okay,
Shout out to the security guards. Keep it safe.
No, you know what? He was trying to, he was trying to be all caressy and massagey and oh, babe. And I basically shoved him to the other side of the dance floor. So I wasn't going to have any of it. You don't disrespect me and do that. You don't put your hands on me after you do that. And I just wasn't going to have it. But you know what? Everybody was really wonderful, and they were actually more concerned about my well-being. And a lot of people know me, and I'm very respectful, and I would never act this way. So this is why I wanted to mention, whether you're in the workspace, social space, relationship space, friendship space, family space, there is no room for just rude and disrespectful behavior, and that's the end of that. So we're going to round off this. First of all, again, Frequency 5 FM, Maria and Joseph, thank you so much for giving us
And
extra time.
congratulations on your award.
Congratulations
The
again.
award.
Best radio online at the the Canadian Latin Awards this past
Frequency
weekend.
5
We're so
FM.
proud to be part of the Frequency 5 FM family. Thank you so much. Let's do. Oh, sorry. Before we do final thoughts, I just want to do a couple of quick shout outs, okay? I just want to mention there's a couple things. Tomorrow night, last week, we had a fantastic show. We had Mike Pickett and Gordon Melville, and we had Petra Grant, who's an amazing, amazing reggae artist. And then Aya Grade and Prince Zimbu dropped in unexpectedly
Can I get a hint?
for all the birthday celebrations. So tomorrow night, they're all performing at Libra Bash at Fusion Lounge in Scarborough, starting at 8 p.m. If you don't have your tickets, buy them. You can also buy them at the door. Beautiful, beautiful soul, like reggae and fantastic talent. We're going to go, Julie and I. We're looking so forward to it. Also, I have to do a shout out to Tracy Acadia Thomas. She's having her King's inspirational event at the Gospel Cafe on November the 2nd. She's posting all about it. There's a whole bunch of fantastic people.
I'll be there.
Yep, Joseph's
I'm actually
gonna
one
be
of the
there.
nominees too, so yeah.
Yay, Joseph! All right, awesome. Also, Fearless Voices, our wonderful friends and sponsor partners, Sandro and John, they're having their next event at Dave & Buster's in Vaughan, November the 18th. And of course, Anything Goes. Julie and I are having our Only the Beginning event, the launch event, December 5th. It is going to be in Mississauga. This I can tell you. And we're going to put out all of the promos in the next few days and hope to see you guys all come out. We got some fantastic people. We're literally taking this platform and we're putting it out there into the wild, is what we always say. So come out for that. The other thing I wanted to mention really quickly is Tracy Acadia Thomas has a magazine called Soulful Image Magazine. And Tracy is a lovely, lovely woman. And she really is all about the soul and walking in purpose and faith and God. And she puts out some beautiful, beautiful stuff. Anyway, she has got a 5-year anniversary edition with Michelle Obama on the front cover. She's giving away 2 magazines, like complimentary. And it's up to us to decide what we want to do. So we're going to put it into thread, what you need to do. It's a beautiful issue. Also,
If I could just jump in on that. Too.
yeah, go for it.
If you want to promote your business, your event, she's still got a few spaces left for advertising. So please reach out, because at the end of the day, this is about celebrating the people in the community that are making a difference and making an impact.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wonderful, wonderful leaders throughout that have been nominated, and this is a great event. So if you want to get your name out there, you want to make sure that people know who you are and get more exposure. Like, there's a lot of readership, there's a lot of following for this. So please sponsor, and you can even speak to me. I can send you some information on putting an ad together there. I have information, or reach out to Tracy Acadia
Yeah,
Thomas
absolutely.
directly.
And you know what? She's also always looking for contributing authors as well. She also does a Queen's event in the spring, so look out for that. If you want to get connected with her, drop me a note. Again, it's Tracy Acadia Thomas. Anything Goes, Julie and I, we're also giving away a 1-year subscription to the Soulful Image Magazine, 12 issues for the year. Yes. And again, we'll figure out how we're going to pick a winner. We'll announce it on the thread. So again, a lot of beautiful inspirational stories and articles. And you know what? I just love knowing her, because I love what she stands for. And it's just all about, walking in purpose. And a lot more news with Tracy coming up as well. So I wanted to mention that. Let's do some final thoughts. Go, Julia.
My final thought, well, because it is Mental Health Awareness Day, of course, as someone who's been through depression and I'm kind of anxious now, to be honest. But
You need to sing and you.
Oh, yeah.
You were gonna. Did you pick a song? You did. You were. Yes, you did. Okay, go. Sorry.
This is not my final thought.
Go.
Anyways, don't be scared to reach out to your loved ones, your friends, family, even like a trusted adult. Okay,
Yeah.
teachers,
Yeah.
and talk about what you're going through. As someone who didn't ever do that, it caught up to me pretty quickly, and I wish I spoke about it sooner, but Yeah, take care of yourselves, guys. We're here for each other.
Awesome. So you're
Sending
gonna,
hugs.
are you gonna sing your song now, or are you gonna end the show with it?
No.
Okay. Well, you have time to pick it because I know you were looking for the lyrics.
Oh, she has the lyrics already. It's both
Joseph,
there.
no, she'll finish. She'll wrap up this.
There was a herd of cows going northbound on that.
No, you're not digressing. Okay, Joseph. How about you?
Again, tying into the mental health, I hope that there's amazing entrepreneurs in and around the GTA, but they're trying to do everything by themselves.
Yes.
Whether you're hiring an intern, where you're hiring an assistant, where you're just hiring people to support you, or even if it's volunteers, don't be afraid to ask for help, because you know what? When you try to do everything all at once, your mental health will suffer as well.
Yes.
And keep in mind that, there is, again, a lot of businesses, if you know, that need an introduction where I can help the businesses, and therefore, if you're working there, there is a level of, there's lots of opportunities, and I do offer a pretty sweet incentive for referrals in terms of either recruitment, outplacement, corporate culture, corporate social responsibility. I have a lot of great tools in my repertoires to help you, but I come in with the mindset of how do we create a win-win-win situation.
Yes, absolutely.
And for those of you who are kind of your own entrepreneurs, keep in mind that, again, when you're an entrepreneur and you're solo, you might be bootstrapping on your financing, but there's ways to collaborate. There's ways of supporting and promoting each other so that you both grow without necessarily spending a lot of money.
That's very true. That's very true.
And so keep that in mind as a food for thought, that you don't need to take on the world by yourself. I think that the old adage is no man is an island unto himself.
Yes.
Remember that we are a community, and although we might overlap in some cases, we're still there's more than enough for everybody.
Yes.
There's abundance. Keep that in mind.
I love that, and my final thought is going to add to what Joseph said. First of all, I'm gonna do this for him because
Congratulations, you are hired.
Congratulations, you are hired. It was easier than you thought. So I'm gonna ask Joseph, or we'll do it, just to add the list of books that he has contributed
So there's two
to.
versions. So there's two versions of this. There's a Canadian and an American, and basically what I've done for people is I've done the homework on how to find a job. So I've researched every resource you can imagine by province, by industry, for you, every interview question. James Ert, I contributed to the Dynamo Dineries, so it was such an honor.
That's volume 3, right?
Yes, volume 3.
Yep.
Then the Handbook to Entrepreneurship. I wrote a chapter on some of my trials and tribulations as an entrepreneur and what to be aware of in terms of caring. And I also redid Congratulations, You're Hired with Raymond Harlal. In a sense that we kind of simplified some of the information, put it together in kind of a new way, just to make sure that people can kind of get through this. It's written in point form that you never really need to read more than 3 pages to kind of get to what you need to. And it's the heart of the matter, which is things like I told you about your resume, updating it every day, just make a smile modification, adding the technical skills right near the top, and then repeating those throughout the resume. You'll score so much higher. There's a lot of other tips there, like how to network correctly, how to optimize your LinkedIn, how to make resumes that stand out and have personality, and everything you can think of that you are probably struggling with in terms of there. And understand, and I say this myself, as much as I'm an entrepreneur, like when life knocked me down, sometimes you got to take a step back, take a job. Don't be afraid of that. Build your business, build your dream while you have some sort of security or income. And when you're ready for it, go all in when that happens.
I like that. And if I may ask you, Joseph, at some point, go on the thread and put down the name of the books and where everyone can find them. So if they want to purchase them, where they can get them, or directly to you, put them down. These are unbelievable, very useful tools. And these are just the books, not to mention all the experience that Joseph has to offer. I think it's really, really important.
I will be going starting basically tomorrow with Facebook Lives on topics such as employee retention, employee turnover, some of what's going on in the market right now in terms of trends, discussions in corporate cultures, different ideas there. So this will be an ongoing thing that will be going live. There'll be more articles coming out so that people can kind of, even if they're working in HR, go, ooh, this is an idea, let's take that
Perfect.
and use it ourselves.
And we only touched the surface tonight about like the pitfalls, the things that are people don't want to talk about it, but it's happening, and we are disruptors, but we're positive disruptors, I would say. So my final thought, you guys, is first of all, again, guys, thank you Frequency 5 FM for giving us extra time tonight. I really appreciate this. Thank you to all of you for tuning in, always for supporting us, for the love. Really, it's 100% unbelievable. My final thought is something that Joseph said, and I want to add to it. As entrepreneurs, as business people, as people that are trying to make a name for themselves, as people that are trying to monetize business, as people that are, struggling with the journey of the entrepreneur or a journey of just a full-time employee in an office building, while we are all in a sense, each other's competition because we're all trying to, get a slice of the pie. I feel that more importantly, we are all support systems and loving human beings to one another who support each other. And as I mentioned, I deliberately mentioned the story of the club guy tonight because there is absolutely no room for rude, disrespectful, cutthroat behavior, undermining one another and trying to get ahead of the curve by having no code of conduct. When we are trying to build our brand and have our integrity and our reputation and our reputation and our business, it's all about that. We cannot afford to have slip ups where people are questioning our reputation and our integrity. It is everything. So if you think that you're doing something unscrupulous, or if you think you're doing something disrespectful, or if you think you're doing something that is not kosher, that shouldn't be done, you need to ask yourself, how can you self-correct? Because I feel that you will get ahead more when everyone is in an inclusive environment trying to support one another. Yes, you're always going to have givers and takers and a lot of takers and maybe not so many givers. But I have to tell you, our guests tonight, my co-host over there, and many more people that I know are givers. And even when people are struggling financially, they're still helping people for free. I was one of those people. I can say that. And I'm not saying that because I want to score points. I'm just telling you that is the reality. And the people that know, I'm not posting that on social media for bonus points. And so people like this are people that I want to gravitate to and work with and align with. So while we're in a world where we're all trying to make a mark, we all have a choice what mark we want to make and what legacy we want to leave. So a little bit of a lengthy final thought, but I really wanted to share that tonight. I think it's very important. So thank you guys so much. We are going
we ending
we are ending the show with Julia singing. Thank you so much again. Next week, we're back with resident psychotherapist Victoria Lorient Fabish, and we're going to be talking about, respecting one another, code of conduct, the ethic of being humans to one another, and the fallout when we're not following through on that kind of behavior. It's going to be wonderful, as it always is with Victoria. Thank you guys so much. Also, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot.
In the context of my final thought, let's give thanks. Let's be grateful for everything we've got. And tomorrow's another day. If today didn't work out for you, the sun is still shining or not. It doesn't matter. Let's all be true to ourselves. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And on that note, I introduce you, Julia Scalise.
It's only going to be a chorus. We're short for time, even though we, are
went over like 2 hours. Okay,
went over
go
by
on.
2. This song has been in my head all week. So anyone know Seal, Kiss from a Rose?
Oh, I love that song. Yes.
Okay, here we go. Here we go, cats. A little nervous. I'm kidding. Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave. That's all.
Woo, so good.
Encore.
Yes,
Encore.
yes, encore. You got another? Come on.
I don't have another
I'm a
one.
sucker for you.
I don't have another one.
Come on, Jonas Brothers.
Jonas Brothers.
Yeah,
Okay.
Why are you? You know the
Because
lyrics.
if I get nervous, I forget the lyrics.
Okay, one more. They're
Okay,
still
this is
on.
gonna be a stripped down version of Sucker.
Yes.
Go download it on iTunes, Spotify.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for you. You say the word and I'll go anywhere blindly. I'm a sucker for you. Any road you take, you know you'll find me. I'm a sucker for all the subliminal things. Come on, guys.
Na, na, na. I don't know the
Oh,
words.
come on. Give me some tambourine moments.
Go, Joe.
Okay.
Go. Go.
I'm a sucker for all the subliminal thing no one knows about you. You. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all, cause I wanna go home. I'm just kidding.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Guys,
much.
when you're not prepared,
Thank
guys.
you. Yes, so
Mental
good.
Health Awareness Day.
See you next
It's
week.
okay.
Happy
I'm
Thanksgiving.
joking.
See you.
Ciao, ciao.